Welcome back. Today we will going to deal about the fertilization process. So before we start the video, I will going to make you revise of the previous one. As you know that reproduction, that means the production of new individual. So how does the reproduction process will going to take place? I have taught you in the previous areas also that fusion of male and female gamete, when they will be occurring, there will be production of new individual or zygote. So this process is known as the process of fertilization. That means fertilization, you can say that reproduction occur with the help of fertilization. And what happens in this fertilization? Fertilization is a fusion of male and female gamete. I have taught you before also what is the male and the what is the female gamete. Next, fertilization process take place in basically two areas. That is the pre-fertilization, what happened before the fertilization, and that will be the post-fertilization, what will going to happen after the fertilization. Two of the things will be going to take place. After that we will going to have the main fertilization process, and after that fertilization we will going to have the production of a new individual, that is the reproduction. First fertilization will going to occur, then the reproduction. So fertilization is a process which goes on with the addition of the reproduction. See, pre-fertilization, as we know that pre-fertilization of the process will going to start with the formation of flower. As we are dealing with the sexual reproduction flower, so we have to first deal with how the formation of flower will going to take place. So first point, we have to deal with the formation of flower. How does the flower will going to take place? First of all, what will going to happen? There will be a hormonal change in the plant and the structural change. As the hormonal change and the structural change will going to take place, second, what will going to happen? The formation of floral primordia. Now what is floral primordia? Floral primordia is a groups of cell or tissue that give rise to a flower. That means when the hormonal change and the structural change will going to occur in a flower, in a plant, then the plant will give rise to floral primordia. That means it will going to form a groups of tissue that will help in giving rise to a flower. And after the floral primordia, what will going to happen? The floral bud, as you know that it is a bud in which the flower before opening it is present before the opening. So floral bud, as we know that floral bud, it is a part of calyx itself. You can say that floral bud, when the flower is intact inside the calyx, it is known as the floral bud. When the calyx will burst, or when the floral bud will going to burst, then there will be a production of flower, or there will be when the bloom, or you can say that when the flower start blooming, that means the floral bud will going to or the calyx will going to open and the flower will start blooming. As we know that flower, it contains the male gamete which is known as the stamen, and flower, it contains the female gamete which is known as the pistil. So this is the following pre-fertilization period. Pre-fertilization, that means how does the formation of flower will going to take place. So for the formation of flower, we need the hormonal changes and the structural changes in the plant. Floral primordia will going to occur, floral bud will going to form, and after that the flower will going to form. And as the flower will going to form, as we know that if the flower will be bisexual, if the flower be unisexual, only the fusion of male and female will going to take place for the formation of fertilization, or for the production of the new gamete. So this is the primary introduction of a pre-fertilization period. Now we will going to deal with the stamen. As we know that stamen contain anther. The basic rule of the stamen is that stamen will going to contain the anther. Inside the anther there will be pollen sac, which is also known as the microsporangia. As we know that pollen grain is a kind of spores. So the sac which contain this spore is known as the microsporangia, or we can say that microsporangia is a part which will going to form the pollen grain. So anther, it contain pollen sac, and pollen sac will going to give rise to pollen grain. Please do remember, pollen grain is not a cell. Pollen grain is a spore which contains cell. That means pollen grain is a kind of spore spore. Inside the spore there will be cell, and inside the cell there will be the nucleus. As we know that in plant the nuclei take part in the process of reproduction, so don't get confused that pollen grain is a cell. No, pollen grain is not a cell. Pollen grain is a spore. As you see, it is a microspore. Inside the microsporangia is a sac like structure. Inside the microsporangia there will be pollen grain. Pollen grain is a microspore. Microspore contain the male gamete or male sex cells, and inside the male sex cells there will be male nuclei which will going to take part in the process of reproduction. I think that would be clear to you. Now see, as we know that this is a simple structure of a stamen. It contains the anther and the filament. See, this is a bilobe structure or diathecus. I have given you the homework also. You have to learn that. This is the anther, and it is bilobed anther. That's why this is known as the diathecus. That means it contains two lobe, diathecus. So it is two lobed, and it is a simple structure of a stamen. When they will going to have a TS of the stamen, we can see there are 4 pollen sacs are present. That means if you will going to cut this one, if you will going to have, if this is a bilobed anther, each lobe contain 2 pollen sac. That means here one, here one, here one, and here will be one. That means when we will going to cut the bilobed anther, we will going to get the 4 sac over here. As you can see that 4 sac 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the 4 sac will be 1, 2, 3, 4, each pair at the one lobe. One lobe contain 2 pollen sac, and one lobe will going to contain 2 pollen sac. That means a bilobed anther will going to have a 4 pollen sac in them. I hope it is clear. This pollen sac, as you can see, inside the pollen sac you will going to find the pollen grain. Here inside, this is a sac. Inside the sac you will going to have the pollen grain. Again I am repeating this one so you don't get confused between this. Let me say it in Hindi a little bit. एंथर फ्लावर का वो पार्ट होता है जो पॉलन ग्रेन प्रोड्यूस करता है. दिस इज द एंथर. ये एंथर फ्लावर का वो पार्ट होता है, या वह मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन का वो पार्ट होता है जो कि पॉलन ग्रेन प्रोड्यूस करता है. तो पॉलन ग्रेन कहाँ प्रोड्यूस होता है? जो पॉलन ग्रेन होता है वो पॉलन सैक के अंदर प्रोड्यूस होता है. दिस सैक के अंदर, ये जो सैक होता है पॉलन सैक, इसके अंदर क्या आएगा? मेल गैमेटोफाइट दैट इज पॉलन ग्रेन क्या होगा? प्रोड्यूस होगा. आप लोगों को याद रखने लायक बात यह है कि पॉलन ग्रेन को आप लोग सेल ना समझें. पॉलन ग्रेन जो होता है एक प्रकार का स्पोर्स है जो एयर में यहाँ वहाँ ट्रैवल करता है, और ट्रैवल करने के बाद वो फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन के पास पहुँचता है और वहाँ पे जाके अपना मेल न्यूक्लियस को रिलीज़ करता है. पॉलन ग्रेन एक प्रकार का स्पोर्स है जो एयर के साथ ट्रैवल करता है. एज यू नो सेल इज़ सो स्मॉल दैट इट कांट ट्रैवल. तो ये पॉलन ग्रेन को सेल ना समझे. पॉलन ग्रेन जो होता है वो एक प्रकार का स्पोर है, क्योंकि ये मेल गैमेट को बियर करता है या मेल सेल को या मेल न्यूक्लियाई को बियर करता है, इसीलिए हम लोग इसको मेल गैमेटोफाइट बोलते हैं. दैट डज नॉट मीन इट इज़ अ सेल दैट कंटेन द न्यूक्लियस. नो, इट इज़ अ स्पोर जिसके अंदर सेल्स होते हैं, और वो सेल्स जो होते हैं वो क्या करते हैं? मेल गैमेटोफाइट बियर करते हैं, जो कि आगे के रिप्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस में क्या करेगा? हेल्प करेगा. आई थिंक आई हैव मेड इट क्लियर वेरी नाइसली ओवर हियर. नेक्स्ट वी मूव अगेन. सी, यहाँ पर क्लियरली मेंशन किया गया ईच पॉलन ग्रेन कंटेन 2 मेल गैमेट, दैट्स वाई इट इज़ नोन एज द मेल गैमेटोफाइट. जो पॉलन ग्रेन होता है उसमें 2 मेल गैमेट होते हैं, इसलिए इसको मेल गैमेटोफाइट बोला जाता है. नेक्स्ट वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. अब हम लोग देखेंगे पॉलन ग्रेन का या पॉलन सैक का स्ट्रक्चर. तो पॉलन सैक का स्ट्रक्चर समझना बहुत ही ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि हम लोग को जब तक पॉलन सैक का स्ट्रक्चर समझ में नहीं आएगा वी कांट मूव टू द पॉलन ग्रेन. तो वी शुड नो दैट हाउ डज द पॉलन सैक विल गोइंग टू टेक प्लेस, और हाउ डज द पॉलन सैक विल गोइंग टू हैव इट्स फंक्शन. सबसे पहले पॉलन सैक इज ऑलमोस्ट सर्कुलर इन स्ट्रक्चर सराउंडेड बाय 4 वॉल. You can say that pollen grain is made up of 4 wall. First will be the epidermis, second will be the endothecium, third will be the middle layer, and fourth will be the tapetum. You can say that pollen sac, this structure is made up of basically four wall. First will be the epidermis, second will be the endothecium, third will be the middle layer, and fourth will be the tapetum. I think 1, 2, 3 and 4. This pollen sac is made up of basically 4 layers. First will be the epidermis. As we know that in any of the organism, if the epidermis will going to be present over there, this epidermis will going to have its protective function. In our body also, epidermis had its protective function. That means it help in protection of the body. In the same pollen sac, epidermis is protecting the pollen sac. When we will going to the second one, it is endothecium. That means it is a line of dehiscence. When the pollen grain will be going to produce inside this one, this endothecium will going to break, and this endothecium will going to break and help in dehiscence of the pollen grain. That means it will going to help in removing the pollen grain from this inside. Third will be the middle layer, and fourth will be the tapetum. Tapetum is the innermost layer. See, epidermis, the middle layer, and the nourishment area. The tapetum is a nourishment providing area. In this area only there will be presence of pollen grain. That is, tapetum will going to give all the nourishment to the pollen grain, so that the pollen grain will going to be get nourishment, and it going to be increase in size, so that it can help in the process of fertilization. Let me repeat once more. See, the structure of pollen sac, it is made up of four basic layers: the epidermic layer, the endothecium, the middle layer, and the tapetum. Epidermis, it is the first outermost layer. That is protective in function. Endothecium is a line of dehiscence. That means it will break and release the pollen grain in the air. And you can say that endothecium is the layer between the epidermis and the middle layer. Middle layer, it does not have its lots of function, but it will going to help the tapetum. Tapetum is the innermost layer which basically provide nourishment. So these are the four main structure of a pollen sac. Let me go in a detail one. See, this is the structure. Firstly, it is the most circular structure. Second, there will be a center of pollen sac. That means in the center here, there will be a tissue present. Inside the tapetum, there will be a tissue-like structure which contains lots of cytoplasm and lots of nucleus. That is known as this microsporocyte. As you know that it is a microsporocyte that will going to help in the formation of microspore. So inside the tapetum, there will be a center area which is known as the microsporocyte, which help in the formation of microspores. That means the pollen grain. See, here is the four different layers. You can see the black one, the outer layer is the epidermis. Second, the blue line will be the middle layer. Third will be the endothecium will be there, and fourth will be the tapetum. You can see the tapetum over here. Tapetum is the inner layer. Inside the tapetum, you can see here the pollen grains are present. It is a lines of dehiscence which will going to break, and the pollen grain will be going to release. See, it is the inside the sporocyte, there will be a pollen grain present over there. I think this is clear. First will be the epidermis, second will be the middle layer, third will be the tapetum, and fourth will be the first will be the epidermis. Inside the epidermis, I have not made that. So in the middle of that epidermis, and in the middle of middle layer, as you know that here will be the endothecium. It will be a line of dehiscence. Endothecium will be a line of dehiscence. And then here tapetum will going to provide all the nourishment to the developing pollen grain. When the pollen grain will be going to develop, the first tapetum will break, then second the middle layer will break, then the endothecium will be going to break, and then the epidermis will be going to break, and this pollen grain will be released in the air, and it will travel here and there with the help of different agents, so that the pollination process will going to take place.